I went to the woods because I wanted to live deliberately, to front only the essential facts of life and see if I could not learn what it had to teach, and not, when I came to die, discover that I had not lived at all. From Thoreau. So today we have come to the woods to celebrate the union of Devan and Brandon in this moment, at this time, but as the forecast of a loving future. So welcome to everyone. Welcome, friends and family. The road that led you here, twisty and sheltered by magnificent trees and, well, in the summer, an alpaca or two. It's a lot like the path that's led them to this moment. It's a crooked path, and I suspect some of you navigated it with trepidation, expectation, with uncertainty, but you came to these woods knowing how singular this moment is, startling and exciting and joyful. We gather in this cathedral of nature, a cathedral that speaks of ease and joy and comfort. We join in the circle that recognizes this magnificent love and the wide horizon created when two join together in a journey of faith. And it is all about faith, faith in each other, faith in the kindness that you've come to know as comfort. It's not easy to fall in love. It's not easy to reinvent and compromise, which is part of the bargain. But when all of that falls away, this is a story about two similar, singular people. People who have talents and stories and voices. It's when all of that comes together in such a rich harmony that nature sings, and all those essential facts that Thoreau writes about become crystal clear. Life is indeed about relationships. When I started to talk to them, it became quickly clear that they had a partnership informed not only by this ceremony, but by every part of their life. There's loving kindness between them that is as startling and unexpected as a full moon. There is a connection that makes you pause and wish that all partnerships could be so full palm, so guileless, so nurturing. The poet Rumi writes, "The minute that I heard my first love story, I started looking for you, not knowing how blind that was." Lovers don't meet somewhere. They're in each other all along. This is certainly true with this couple, and it's certainly true about many of you too. The gift of finding someone's soulmate is a precious gift indeed. That minute of recognition is a minute that cannot be described or forgotten. James and Roxana, Melanie and Stephen, although it might feel like yesterday, two children were born into this world, and in them you saw infinite hope and possibility. You've loved them, you've rejoiced with them, you've cried with them too. On this day, we see them taking a new step, but it's not a step away from you. It's a step with you beside them as they start their married life. James, Roxana, do you support your daughter on this glorious day and welcome Brandon into your family? Yes. Melanie and Stephen, do you support your son on this glorious day and welcome Devan into your family? Yes. Oh, this is going well. Before you're joined together with your beloved in my presence, in the presence of your friends and family, in the eyes of a loving God, I will remind you of the serious binding nature of this relationship. The traditional rite of marriage, as most of us understand it, is the voluntary and deliberate and full commitment of two individuals to one another to become married partners for a lifetime. There are certain moments in life that have the power to shift our very core, and this is one of them. Have you come to this moment freely to enter into this marriage? Yes. Okay. That's great. Let's begin this celebration of love and life. Welcome to everyone today. What a magnificent day this is. We gather with such joy to witness this partnership, a partnership that will be forever changed after this day. Now, I'm planning on this being spring, even though it snowed a little bit, but we're right at the edge of spring, so we're going to go with that. Spring reminds us every day that it is the sweetest of seasons. We see so clearly the promise of life and nature renewed. This couple gives us a welcome glimpse of that promise today as well, as clearly as the skies that will be sunny again and the buds and blooms that are exploding instantly on every tree. Nothing is as hopeful or as joyous as a wedding. Getting married is the supreme act of trust. It is as much a union as it is a move of independence, because it takes absolute confidence in oneself to be able to give so fully to another. This ceremony is a perfect testament to the power of hope. This is a partnership that was forged with thought, with time, with emotion. It's a partnership that's intentional and well thought out, even though it thrives in spontaneity and laughter. It's a partnership of courage, of trust, of fidelity and faith. People will say that in the world of today, every couple is subjected to challenges never seen before. But truly, you create your own world, your sanctuary, where your values, your ethics, your dedication to each other will strengthen you as individuals and as a family. And you out there, you're also important today. This couple has been inspired by so many of you in highly personal ways. You've shared the milestones of their lives. You've loved them, you've challenged them, you've supported them. Many of you are joining us from near and far. And this gift of your presence, it's a sweeter gift than you could ever imagine. You mean the world to them, and they're thrilled that you can be here. You are indeed the family that they've inherited and the family that they have chosen. This couple has chosen to honor two very special women today, two women who have made all the difference in their lives, Melanie and Roxana. Your mother is always with you. She's the cool hand on your brow when you're not feeling well, the sound of soft rain that lulls you to sleep. She's your first love, your first friend, even your first co-conspirator. But nothing on earth or in heaven can ever separate you, not time or space. You have given this couple lifetimes of gifts, inspiring them with your strength and your compassion. We want to thank you with all our hearts. And there's another family member who needs a special shout out, and anyone who knows this couple, of course you all do, you know just how special he is. He has to be, and you know where I'm going with this, don't you? He has to be included in this wonderful celebration. Coda, you fabulous four-legger, please know that you are respected and loved and cherished forever. And your mom and dad will be coming home soon. So whatever you're doing, you should probably stop. When is a job not just a job? When the most unexpected and delightful fringe benefit is meeting the person who will change your life forever. But really, it was the perfect setting for romance. The ambient fluorescent lighting, the smell of fish sticks and anxiety in the air. Yes, it was Fort Hamilton High School, and they were assigned to co-teach together. Was it fate? Was it kismet? Was it karma? Whatever cosmic force brought them together did so at the perfect time because, as many of us can attest to, in love and in life, time and timing are everything. As they got to know each other, they learned just how much they had in common and just how much they didn't, which was almost as compelling. They built a deep friendship as colleagues first. Gradually and gracefully, they became best friends during the course of that school year. But the end of that school year was looming, and then they were both headed in entirely different directions for some well-deserved vacation time. There was definitely a dangling participle that needed to be resolved. Now, every great love story has a pivot point, that moment when everything changes forever. That pivot point was about to happen. The year-end party was scheduled. It was the perfect opportunity to shift the friendship in a completely different direction. She slid into the driver's seat of her car after the party, and she found a ticket under her windshield wiper. But it wasn't an ordinary ticket. It was a veiled message coming from Brandon. She picked up that gauntlet and called him immediately before she even started the car. Then she drove up to meet with him one last time before the summer break. He was waiting for her at the Whistle Bridge. They started innocently talking about the party, what last year had shown them, professionally and personally. They shared their first tentative kiss, sweet and a little surprising. The first summer weeks apart felt like lifetimes, even though they were filled with many accidental phone calls, even an impromptu visit from Brandon, who cut his Florida vacation short to fly back to New York and surprise her. 2 months and one fabulous dog later, they were living together, looking forward to their first shared Christmas. Now, he realized she was one in a million, the woman he wanted to spend the rest of his life with, but a realization is not a proposal. He needed a plan, a proposal plan. He wanted it to be memorable, but she hates surprises, and to add to it all, she's not a fan of big, splashy public displays or being the center of attention. Today doesn't count. How could he ask her? He considered many scenarios, but one became clear: that first Christmas together. Candles burned brightly, Christmas lights twinkled, gifts were exchanged, all but one, and that was for her. When she carefully unwrapped it, she found a beautiful patchouli candle. It was beautiful, but it was just a decoy. The real present lay beneath, a beautiful ring accompanied by a proposal from Brandon. And she did what any woman would do faced with a proposal from the man that she loves. She started to cry. A lot. But through all of those happy tears, well, of course she eventually said yes, and that's how we all got to be here. It's easy to see what drew them together. They're absolute complements. They work very hard, and they play very hard, always thinking of ways to surprise each other and show each other how much they care about each other. They have a profound sense of gratitude and respect, and they have intentionally cultivated a relationship that's based on mutual trust and mutual growth. But as compatible as they are, they bring different gifts to this partnership. She is smart, spirited, optimistic, and kind, a girl with a giant heart of gold and a grand spirit of adventure. She truly lives her life in Technicolor. She's fiercely dedicated to her friends and family, championing their dreams as fervently as she does her own. Determined and directed, any goal on her radar is certain to be achieved through her belief that anything is possible with enough effort. All these qualities make her not only a wonderful partner, but a beloved and inspiring teacher. Bold and brave in her introspection of herself, her courage inspires Brandon to delve within himself too. He's authentic, generous, funny, compassionate, confident and tenacious. His work ethic is impeccable. He always gives the best of himself. He's passionate about all the things that are important to him, and he's always open for a new adventure. She says he can always make her laugh no matter how dire or unexpected the circumstances, sometimes by spontaneously breaking into song at the most random moments.
Oh, yeah.
This isn't one of them, is it?
I was ready.
When we think of marriage, we think of that iconic moment when one partner walks down the aisle to meet the person they love. We tend to think of that as the moment of union, but truly, it's that moment when you first face the world together as married partners. We walk down that aisle to an uncertain future. We have no idea what tomorrow will bring, what twists and turns will unfurl on the road ahead. Today is the celebration of your commitment to stand together no matter what happens next. And as much as you have changed and grown in the past few years, that's how much you'll change and grow in the years to come. Richer, poor, got that. Sickness and health, got that too. Crazy schedules, demanding careers, planning a wedding during a pandemic. Well, here we are. While you've already seen so much in your life together, you'll see everything even more clearly as a husband and a wife. Your generosity of spirit will make sure of that. So we have wedding vows. But before we continue with your vows, I have one more thing I want you to do. This is a day that really seems to fly by. It's a day filled with emotion and friends and rings and dances. I'm sure many of your friends and family here remember just how fleeting their own wedding day was. So I want you to close your eyes for just a moment. You can all close your eyes too if you'd like, except for the photographers. Please don't do that. Imagine that you're safe and happy and appreciated and respected and adored without reservations or conditions. Now open your eyes and realize that you are. Let this realization follow you through all the days of your life together. So now we have vows. Who's going first? You can do rock, paper, scissors.
I'll go first. Okay.
Who's going first? I need you to peek in here.
I want to see yours. You want to go first?
You are. I was lucky you had the way first.
Better do it.
Before we can cry. From the first moment we met 3 years ago, I'm pathetic.
Oh,
I knew with absolute certainty that I wouldn't be able to live a single day without you. Right away, there was such a deep and divine connection. And the funny feeling that we have known each other for centuries. Our love began as an ember. It burned strong and silent until the spark ignited and emerged the brightest, most powerful flame. And then my whole life was given meaning and purpose. Now, as I stand before you today and look into your eyes, I see our past, present, and future happening all at once. You have given me the greatest gift on earth, unconditional, infinite love. It overflows my heart, and in return, I promise to pour all of this love back into yours. Ebb and flow. like an ocean's tide until the end of time. Our love story is unlike any other. It's filled with romance and passion, adventure and laughter, so much beauty. I cannot wait to continue writing these next chapters with you. Through your strength, I feel safe and protected. Through your patience and warmth, I feel understood. Through your insight, I become more introspective. Through your giving nature, I learn sacrifice and what it means to be truly selfless for the one you love.
Oh, it's good.
These are just some of the many ways in which you have helped me grow. I no longer have bad days, because each day starts and ends with you. Sorrows, fears, and worries have subsided because no matter what the circumstances, as long as you're mine, nothing else matters. I promise to always listen to you with kindness and compassion. I promise to guide you if the path is not clear. I promise to spend my days putting you first above all else. I promise to cherish each little moment together. I promise to show up for you and support you through anything. I promise to give you little daily love notes and poems.
I love those.
And I promise to kiss you 1,000 times a day. And I promise to love you until the end of time.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Go ahead and clap. You know you want to.
Oh, sorry. Oh, shit. Standing before me, my beautiful angel, my amazing everything, my sweetest snowfinch and the love of my life. How much you mean to me, how much you changed me, how much you always give me. A million words wouldn't capture that. You've saved me in more ways than you could ever know. Replaced the grays and darknesses of, anything around me, the world around me with the brightest colors and the brightest light, blinding lights of almost any darkness can shine through. I remember one of the first of many things that made me fall in love with Dev. It was how you watch birds and how you're so detailed and how you watch them and you notice every detail and your attention to it and the degree of care you take into identifying each one and the way that you sketch them so perfectly. It's not unlike what you give to me every day in our relationship and the way that you love me and help me grow, and I'm just so thankful for that. Because our love is in the story that's being written. Our love is the story that's being written in only the most passionate of prose. Our love is in the cadence of the cutest laugh I've ever heard. Our love is in the amazing way we cuddle on the couch as we read and watch shows, analyzing in the deepest and most unique ways that only you can. Our love is the selfless nurturing you always give to our boy Coda, showing just how amazing of a mom you'll be one day. Our love is in the way you inspire me each and every day to be the best version of myself, to never fear anything in this life, because I know that I'll always have my best friend right there by my side. So I promise the little things, like never having to pump gas again or taking out the garbage again. But I also promise that you'll never know another bad day, never know another sad moment, never have to experience any hardship on your own, because I'm right there with you every step of the way. I promise to give you the sun, the moon, the brightest stars in the sky, to love you until our very last breath. I can't wait for what the future holds for us, and I'm so excited to take this journey with you. I love you, Deb. All right. Sorry, I messed that up.
At the rings?
Wow. Don't fumble now.
You should hold it.
Thank you.
Hold it by the bottom.
Okay.
That's right. Wedding rings seize their significance not just from their intrinsic beauty, but from their expression of your deep commitment and this unending love. They're the outward symbols of the promises that you've made to each other in your hearts and now in public. They're a gentle, potent reminder of this choice you've made, this choice to live your life in unison with another person. As you wear them through the years, they'll collect their nicks and their scratches. They'll take on their own personalities, just as you will. They may get a little scarred on the outside, just as you may too. But during any of the difficult times, you'll notice that if you take that ring off and you look at the inside of the band, it will be perfect and shiny and brand new. Never underestimate the power of touching that wedding ring. and realizing just how much you're loved. Now, please take that ring and place it on the fourth finger of his left hand. That's the one. I always say that's good luck. Yay. And now, put that ring on her hand. Feel free, it's fine. Now, this couple has chosen a traditional hand fasting ceremony. In Europe in the 1700s, few unions were sanctified in a church. Rather, they were celebrated by a simple hand fasting ceremony in which the two partners joined hands over the village anvil in the field or in a grove of trees. Today, we build upon this tradition, and while we don't have the village anvil, we do have two partners, a rope, and a loving community. So please hold hands, right hand to right hand, left hand to left. I get that mixed up too. You'll notice that these hands form a figure 8. It's the symbol of eternity. When you found each other, an ancient circle was closed. You have become Anam Cara for each other. Anam Cara, translated from the Irish, means soul friend. Your Anam Cara is the person who supports you and challenges you, who brings you to your full potential as they bring you great joy. Now, as I said, you'll notice that when you hold hands, your arms form a figure 8. Let this be a symbol of the eternal promise that's brought into the light by the presence of your Anam Cara. Notice, too, that the unity of the figure 8 holds two distinct circles. Let this remind you always that even though you're bound together, you are two separate and unique individuals. This is one of the great mysteries of love, that in the eternal circle of belonging, you will find your freedom. May your love be the wellspring that nourishes you and refreshes you and reveals your innermost nature. May the warmth and generosity and creativity of this love touch everyone in your life. May you learn from each other and grow in ways that you've never dreamed. May you always be ready for adventure, but may returning home be the best part of your journey. May you value this relationship and realize that it's a precious gift to be nurtured and treasured. This cord connects this couple with the bonds of love. For such bonds to be strong, they need support, not just from each other, but from all of you, their loving community of family and friends. As I bind their hands together with this cord, please let your thoughts focus on the loving strength that you bring to this union, because the knots of this binding are not formed by these cords, but instead by your vows and all of your support. May these promises shape your every day together.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Practice.
The binding has been made. With the entwining of this knot, I tie all your dreams and desire and love and happiness to your lives as long as your love shall last. Woven into this cord, besides the keys and the charms and the stones, into the very fibers are the hopes of all your friends and family for you and your new life together. In this circle of community, this couple has created this union marked by taking vows and exchanging these rings. They've declared that they trust each other's kind intentions, and they've vowed to preserve this precious gift of marriage, to place this gift above everything else. Always remember that today is not the place of arrival, but it's the place where the adventure really starts. This celebration today, it's just that. It's a celebration. It's not a performance. At the end of this day, after the promises and the speeches and the dancing, after the cake is cut, your high heels are under the table, and that tie is draped over a chair, you'll realize that you're married to the one that you love, and you'll know this has been the perfect day, the start of so many perfect years. Again and again, over the course of your lives, you will find ways to redefine the miraculous. Again and again, you'll see that happily ever after does not begin with once upon a time. It begins right now. It is my great pleasure and my great joy, I love saying this, to pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss each other.